Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Freddie back again with another episode of Capturing Form. You know what we do here, talking with creators, talking with creatives, seeing what they do, their stories, and some of the tips for everyone out there. So back again, this time with another special guest. This time we have a close friend of mine, phenomenal rapper, multi-talented actually, because he drops consistently, something that most rappers don't do. He's got albums on albums on albums, really dope topics that he talks about, really dope instrumentals, great live performer based out of Miami. In Atlanta, we got Giuliano Rengifo, aka G.R.E. Go check him out on Spotify. What's good, homie?
Yo, what's good? That intro is amazing. I appreciate that. That's
Yes.
fire.
Sometimes when I create these intros, it's like, okay, how am I going to introduce this person? I got to give them the best intro they've ever had in
You
their
did,
life.
man. You made me feel very special. Like I haven't had many intros in my life, but that one's definitely the best.
I'm hoping to top the one where you get a Grammy, and then
uh,
you
One
got to have
day.
me introduce you.
Oh, done. Done. If I'm ever on
Done.
the Grammy stage, you can come on.
It means a lot. Anyways, appreciate you for hopping on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Well, what have you been up to, man?
I've been chilling. I'm home right now. South Florida. Uh just been enjoying the summer, man, until I start working in September. I got this summer to just kind of do what I want. So I've been traveling. I'm playing poker every day. I'm grinding that.
Every day.
That's like right now in my mentality with that part-time job, like what I can do during the summer. And I love it. So there's that. Yeah. And then just trying to see new places, see my family down here, recording a lot of music too. Just
Mm,
finished my new album, at least recording it like 2 days ago. Like got it.
new album alert.
Got it. It's sequenced. I got like the order of everything. It flows perfectly. Now I just need to mix and master it all. Make sure it
Is
sounds
this
good.
the trilogy or is it different
Nah,
albums?
it's different. It's just something new.
Something new.
I
Okay.
think
All right.
it's
You got
most
any?
similar to the daily routine one, like sonically. It's most
Okay.
similar to that, but like way, way, way better.
And I want to talk about that album in a bit, but where you been traveling to? Where you going? Where have you been?
So I'm gonna be going to Europe for 3 weeks coming up. So on July 16th, to be exact, I'm gonna land in Madrid. I have two cousins that live over there. One of them lives in Germany and one of them lives in Copenhagen in Denmark.
Jeez.
So we're meeting up in Madrid. We're gonna be there for like 3, 4 days. Then I'm going to Amsterdam with them. From
Uh,
Amsterdam, we're going to Copenhagen because we have to be there for some function that my cousin needs to go to there. So we basically set up the whole trip around being in Copenhagen by a certain date. So we're going Madrid, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, then to London, then back to Madrid. Then I'm gonna be at Barcelona and then back to Madrid again. And then I leave.
oh, geez. So,
So
okay, you
it's
guys
like a
got some
lot,
Scandinavian in
but it's like
there.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Then Barcelona, Madrid. So most of the time is honestly spent in the west or in the north part of Europe.
Uh, a lot of it's gonna be spent in Spain. I feel like I'm gonna be spending like out of the 3 weeks, like 10 days in Spain or more.
Your
Amsterdam's
choice.
like three. Huh?
Your choice.
I would love that. Like I was fine with whatever. I'm kind of letting them dictate what the hell we
Mm.
do because like they know better. Like,
Uh,
I trust them. I don't have the energy to plan out a 3 week trip. Like I just can't.
I'm about to go
I'd
to
fuck it
Spain
up.
too, and I was
Yeah,
just like stoked, man. Like
I am
what
too.
beachfront? I don't even know. There's got to be some beautiful beaches in Spain
Absolutely on the coast for
on the
sure.
coast.
I would
Yeah,
assume so. I've never
sipping
been on
on
one, but
sangria.
yeah.
And
And France too. I mean, I've heard the France beaches are crazy.
you just
So
went to France, right?
yeah, I went to Paris for a bit too for like 6 days. So
You go see like all the
yeah.
classics, Notre Dame, Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, so dude, I went to Notre Dame. Like, so they got these bikes all around the city and like the birds, the scooters.
Yeah.
So like me and my dad were just like using scooters and bikes to go everywhere. So we biked to Notre Dame, which was like quite a little bit far. But once we got there, it's like you can't go in. It's like still burnt down, it's like under reconstruction. So
Oh, still, man, that was like 3 years
yeah,
ago.
no, yeah, and it's still like under reconstruction. Like we only saw it from like from like a distance.
Hmm.
Um, we tried to go to the Louvre, but we got scammed. which
How does that
happens.
work? One of those they thought you're American, so they scammed you.
Basically, yeah. Like the line for the Louvre was way too long, and then this dude's like, "Yo, you don't have to wait in this line. Like I got tickets for you." And then I see the
Oh,
tickets, and it's got somebody else's name, and we're
step
like,
one.
bro, these tickets aren't gonna work." He's like, "Trust me, bro, they work." And it did work, kind of. Like the Louvre has like three sections, right?
Uh-huh.
And one of the sections, they did not care about your ticket. They just let you in. So we got like somewhat in, but like where the
Uh
Mona Lisa's at, we couldn't see the Mona Lisa. So I don't
dang,
know.
okay.
It was
That's
like it
tough.
was a good scam though. Like we didn't have to wait in a line and we experienced some things. So
Sometimes the scammers work, I guess.
it sometimes works.
You get pickpocketed or no?
No, no.
I've heard that's a big thing in Europe. It's
I
like
mean,
petty theft.
that's just in general. Just be careful.
Be
Like
careful. Rule
you
number
can't.
one.
Yeah.
So the travels, I guess any big notes, I guess, taking it all the way back from the beginning of your hip hop career to now,
Hmm.
because evidently amazing poker player, but also, I mean, you're a superstar rapper, in my opinion, great artist. I mean, take it back all the way to the very beginning, because I know you started rapping relatively later than me.
Hmm.
Like when did you start? 12th grade?
Nah, I started honest. So I started making music and recording music probably like in ninth grade. Like I was like
Oh
15.
shit. Okay, that's
I
that's that's
just
also pretty early.
yeah, I was like 15. I just didn't release music until my first semester of college. But like on
Uh-huh.
my private SoundCloud, I got mixtapes. Like I got a couple
Of just
projects
old you.
that like are only for me and maybe three people have heard. Like not even you have heard because I mean it's garbage, but you know,
Is this
it's
the high pitch voice you?
oh man, yeah, like
Hello, I'm
my
rapping.
for real though, it's kind of crazy. Like you play some of those tracks and it's like I can tell like the songwriting is kind of okay, but it's like the pitch of my voice is squeaky. The mix is non-existent because I didn't know what mixing was. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had the little Yeti Blue Mic Snowball, whatever.
Classic.
Yeah, and I had GarageBand, so I'd pull a beat from YouTube. I'd do a one take record, and that's it.
That's
Like,
it.
that's it.
Do you remember any of the songs you recorded over, or some of the instrumentals? Were they like over famous beats?
Some of them, yeah. I definitely recorded on a lot of different beats. Fear by Kendrick Lamar is one I'm thinking about right now.
Uh-huh.
I have a song that's unreleased, like when I was like 17.
Hey,
What
we need to hear
else?
that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's actually a really good song, but the mix is awful, you know.
Was
Happens.
this on you were recording on Logic?
At this time in GarageBand.
GarageBand.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out GarageBand, man. That's every Mac user's intro to recording. You got to work with
Yeah.
what you got to work with.
Even the projects that are public, so like if you go on my Spotify, whatever, the first album that I have out is called Welcome Home. That was recorded on GarageBand as well. And then I think after that album, I started using Logic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so 14, 15 years old, kicking it in the booth. How long did it take you to feel like you got a grasp of, I feel like I can deliver. I feel like I can write. I feel like I really have control over what I'm doing to as much of an extent as I could. Because I know in the beginning, and I remember so distinctly in the beginning of making hip hop music, I was not good. I think the not good phase lasted a really long time.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to some of the recordings I made back from when I was like also like 13 or 12, 14, like that range, especially. Oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I had someone like slightly mix them for me so they didn't sound
Okay.
awful, but the
Uh-huh.
voice, the delivery, the lyrics were just not it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I actually feel very differently than I guess you did. I like at the time
Mm-hmm.
thought my shit was dope as fuck. Like I was like in
Oh
love
yeah,
with
when
it.
you make it, you're like, oh my
But like
god, this is incredible.
yeah, and I would show it to a couple friends and they thought it was cool, but like
Uh-huh.
I knew like the audio I always kind of knew like the audio wasn't great, but at the time I didn't know what to do about it, like in terms of mixing. Like I had no idea and I didn't have the patience to learn because I had so much other shit going on in my life. So I was just like,
Yeah.
this is good enough for now. Like I know I'll get better. My songwriting at the beginning, is much it's a lot different than how I write now. I think at the beginning I was really focused on like punchlines and like bars, while now I'm more interested in emotion, message, and like getting to the point. Like
Mm,
I'm not as coded as I was at first. Like at first, like because a lot of the hip hop artists I listened to at the time were super coded, and I was just trying to be super coded as well. But I kind of gave that up a little bit. I mean, sometimes like I'll be coded in my music, but I think it's more important that you get what I'm saying when I'm
mm.
rapping, and that I have a point to it.
I remember, yeah, in the beginning, my music had no direction. I think
Mhm.
the very first song I made, yeah, I actually didn't even have a verse on it. It was called "Can't Stop My Roll" with one of my homies, and I just made the chorus, and it was literally just us
Oh,
bragging about how we're on a roll, even though we're in like sixth grade, and there's clearly no rolling to be had or done, and we were just like little kids, and we were like, oh, we
I
want to make
got
this
you.
type of music, and
Yeah.
I had a no swear phase in the beginning of my hip hop career because I was like, oh man, like if
Mm.
I swear, like is that gonna influence public perception? Until I realized, like, yo, even the biggest folks on earth, they swear and it's authentic to them. So I was like, man, like I just need to start swearing. But yeah, I have this song called
Yeah.
Rising. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I've ever showed you this. This is
I
for
don't think so. I don't
really
think
old,
so.
13 years old. And at the time, I remember it's my first solo track ever because I had only
Mm.
recorded with this homie before, and I was just like a feature, a little chorus, a little verse here that he wrote. Actually, he would write. This first song I wrote like entirely on my own, and I remember making it. I was like, yo, oh my God, I think I just struck the treasure chest. This is amazing. I
Yeah.
listened back to it like a few years later. Even now, I'm like, oh my God, this is public too.
uh
The
no, I got my shit on private, don't worry. If like those early ones. Like
early ones, of
yeah. I'm looking at it now because I have access to my SoundCloud. So the song Never by J.I.D.
course.
I did a remix to that one.
Hmm.
That one was really good at the time. That was like the first one I made that I was showing people.
Yeah.
This is the original Caged Bird, bro.
Oh my God, that went through some big changes.
Yeah, this is an album I made a while back. This was one of my first little mixtapes. It's private, but I basically used that Cage Bird concept twice.
You brought it
I guess
back.
I brought it back. I was like, because it's fitting again. Fuck it.
So
Use it
the
again.
very first time I was introduced to your music, a friend of ours who was like, "Oh, you got to meet this rapper. He's another guy," and he showed me the song "Wolf" off of that album,
Yeah,
"Welcome Home."
yeah.
Tell me about that because that's your first project on Spotify. When did you record it? What was the process like? How do you
I
feel about it
actually
now?
remember recording that. I exactly. So that song, that's the first song I ever released, right? So um, it was freshman year of college. We were on fall break, and I went back home for fall break in October. It was like a 4-day weekend, and I recorded
Mm,
it at my house here on that Blue Yeti microphone, right, and GarageBand. Um, and that song is like might be the only song I have released that has like 4 verses on it. Like there's a
uh-huh.
lot of rapping on that track. But it was also one of the first tracks where I was like, okay, there is no way, like, if I release this publicly, people aren't gonna fuck with it.
Uh,
Like, like I think all the music I had made before that I have private, like I really liked it, but I knew like the audio quality wasn't fully there, and I was nervous of like what people would think of me. Cause at the time too, like I might have been
the
rapping
biggest
for
hurdle.
yeah, dude, I might have been rapping like my whole high school life, like 3 or 4 years, but like nobody knew.
Yeah.
And like that's a big difference, like going from like just recording by yourself and hearing it back, and maybe 2 of you or 3 of your close friends hear it, to then releasing it on a public streaming services where your family is going to hear it, where like everyone's going to hear it.
Wait, let's talk about that for a second because this is the biggest
Yeah.
struggle I think exists out there for creators, musicians, anything like that that revolves putting things public. Because I think that's one of the biggest gatekeepers for why people would either be too afraid to do it
Mhm.
or it basically pushes them away from it altogether.
Yeah.
The fear of being judged by others. Like,
Yeah.
how did you navigate that first album? Was it like oh shit, I'm
Okay.
putting this out in public. I'm fucking like actually terrified. Or
Oh
how'd you like
yeah.
navigate that?
Dude, so I was rapping in the closet, both literally and figuratively. Like I was like rapping, I had my microphone in the closet, and that's where I would record. I would put like pillows in the closet as like a soundproof shield and just record. And also I was just rapping for years without like telling people that I'm rapping. And it's like a
Uh-huh.
huge passion of mine. But for some reason, I was like nervous of like what people would think of it, because sometimes you overanalyze how judgmental people are going to be when people aren't as judgmental as you think, mostly because people don't care as much as you think. So
Yeah,
that's number
that's
one.
true.
Like you have to realize like most people do not give a fuck, number one. And also, of course, like people that love you, like your family, will give a fuck, but like in a positive light, no matter what, especially when it comes to something like music,
Yeah.
like where I was writing and being extremely vulnerable, even if the music isn't excellent, like it's like a creative outlet where you're like showing yourself, like there's no way someone who loves you is gonna judge you for that. You know what I mean? And if they do, fuck them. So, but that was a huge struggle for me. Even when I released that first, that song Wolf and that
Mhm.
project Welcome Home, I released it on IG, right? And my family didn't have me on IG. Like my parents didn't. You know what I might have done, even though I'm not fully sure. I might have maybe like blocked people from seeing my story when I posted it, like close people. So like I
Oh.
might have like put like my sister, like my
The friends and
cousins,
family
like
only.
the yeah, I was like, no, I was like, y'all cannot see this. I'm putting this for the public, but not y'all. Cause I
Oh, this is
wasn't
the I want everyone else that I don't know to see it.
yeah, yeah,
But
like the
all the people
people
that
I
I
care
know, please
about,
don't check it out.
yeah, people that I care about, like I'm not ready to have this conversation that I rap with you guys yet. I think because like, I mean, I did put it on IG, but my family, so my sister didn't discover I was rapping until so the next project after Welcome Home was called Smile More. And I had
Mm.
finished it and I thought it was way better. Again, every time I make a new project, I feel like I'm improving. So I was like, okay, this shit is fire. It was the summertime. So I was back home and I was like, I'm going to just drive around with my sister and play my music. Like, I'm just going to do it. Like, without even like telling her that I make music. Like, I'm just going to play my music. Like, that was the way I decided to do it. And that was tough, bro. I was nervous. Emotions were poured. Like, like that's an
That was a time.
interesting memory that you're making me bring back. So
Yeah.
that's how my sister figured out that I made music. Like when the first song off Smile More came on, it's called The Sun, and I'm like rapping hella fast. She's like, "That's you," and I'm like,
That's always the reaction. That's you?
"Yeah, like that's you." And it's like a track where I'm like barring up like supersonic speed, like more than
uh
normal.
was it like
So
embarrassment or was it more like, oh shit, yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of
she
rap.
was no, like no, for me embarrassment. I was nervous. Like I was like, "Oh my god, I'm really doing this. Like she's really hearing me rap." And like I could tell her wheels were turning cuz
Yeah.
like one like the music was good enough to a point where I think like anyone listening could tell that I've probably been doing this for a while.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not I knew it wasn't bad, you know? So that's why her wheels were turning and it's like, "Yo, how long have you been doing this?" Like without telling me. And like that became a problem in itself. It's like, why
Yeah.
didn't you show me? Like, and that's how my family felt too. So it was weird. My sister knew for a bit, but I told her like, don't tell mom and dad right now. Like I don't want them to know
Yeah.
either. It was like a big thing for me. And then
What about your
they
friends' reactions when like one of your close homies pulled up your music and they told you?
I was never that worried with my friends in general. My close high school friends always knew that I made music, like three or four of them. They always
Yeah.
knew, even the private stuff. Like I would show them during class or whatever. I'm like, yo, listen to this shit I recorded last night. Um, in college, I I cared a little bit, but not that much. I mean, I thought like, for example, like my roommate, who I became very good friends with, Alec. Um, I had already lived with him for like 5 months, and I didn't tell him I made music. So that was one where I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna tell you now that I make music. It's a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, you just tell me, and it's like,
you
okay,
just tell
word,
them.
move on.
I was more nervous with family, and my parents didn't figure out until they saw a video of me performing on campus.
How'd they get that video?
Because I
They don't
posted
have
it on
Instagram.
Instagram, and I think my sister might have like reposted it and probably showed them. I think my sister, I don't remember. My sister might have been like, "Can I show them this?" And I might
Oh,
have been,
okay.
and I was in college. I
They
was
probably didn't
already,
judge you though. They're probably just like, cool.
nah. They called me and they're like, no, they didn't judge me at all. But they were just like, yo, like you have like albums out and you're performing on campus and we don't know, like what the fuck. And
Yeah,
I'm like, and it's true. Like I felt very bad at the fact that I was like not open with my family about making music. So the fear of judgment is a huge thing for creators and was something that hindered me a lot. But you also have to think of it
sure.
from the flip side, dude. Like if you're making stuff that's dope and you're hiding it from the people close to you, like they're gonna feel away too. Like just show them, man.
Show
Like
them.
it's 100% the right move. Like especially if you like your shit. Like I understand like if you make music and you don't like your shit, like that's a you problem. Like you don't have to show it, but like I was at a point where I really liked my music. I
Yeah.
just was like nervous to like show people my true colors, I guess. You know what I mean? Like my yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Fear of judgment, it's a killer. Even sometimes nowadays, it's like, okay, I'm heading into this new like creative venture. Like, I'm trying pretty actively to brand myself as this, that, but in the process, like all these people that I know are about to see it. And man, it definitely was like a like for like a day or two was like a little paralyzing factor. And then I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I've already gone this far. It's like
Uh,
at this point, if they care enough to hate, cool. If they love
yeah.
it, cool as well. I have this lyric in my upcoming EP that's like, I hear the hate, I hear the calls, I hear it all, but I stay
Hmm.
silent. I don't let it phase me.
Hmm.
Making moves, I do them daily. So it's still like with all the noise, you just keep doing what you're doing, and keep moving.
Yeah. I feel you.
and anyways,
Yeah.
what were you about to say?
That I have a similar lyric on my new project too. Like, I want to hear it all from my family, all from my friends to be, or anyone who has said shit at all. Over
Ah,
analyzer, over
yeah.
fantasizer, quotes for me that you can put on a wall. Like,
Oh,
like,
if I had a button, this is where the that's where I would do that. So I'll just make it
yeah,
with my voice.
the over analyzer. Like, I want to hear it all, but like, you don't there isn't a lot to hear sometimes. Again, people
Yeah,
don't care as much as you think they do, bro. And sometimes
they don't.
you just think like everyone's going to judge you, but bro, no one cares. Everyone's doing their own thing. It's all
Yes,
about
sir.
finding people that support you, and that's it, and supporting people back.
Hey, I'm supporting you on this next project.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Coming up from the Two Smile More albums, Daily Routine. So that's 3 albums between your first one, right? And then your current upcoming one,
Yeah, for the Cage Birds with Rafi, which was the last one.
The Cage
But yeah.
Birds.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Cage Bird album was your most mature album yet. I think the storytelling was there. This idea that there's a lot of work to be done in life, and sometimes that work makes you feel like you're trapped in this cage. How do you
Hmm.
set yourself free? That's kind of like the storyline of the album. How'd you feel about making that album? What was the routine like, I guess, from concept inception to finished recording? And when you put it out, I already knew you were thinking about the next one. So
Hmm.
I guess transitioning that question off, how do you feel like you're coming back with the next album?
Yeah, for sure. So the album for the Cage Birds was very different from everything I had released previously because it was the first time I was working with someone else making music. All my previous albums were me recording myself, mixing myself on my computer, and using beats from YouTube. For the Cage Birds was fully produced by my friend Rafi. We worked on it together at his place. He is a very talented musician who just made some incredible beats that fit what I was going for at the
Fit your
time.
style.
And we just connected on a level that we just made some great music. So It's definitely my best sounding album. Shout out to Rafi because the production
Shout
is
out.
great. It was the
Yeah.
first time I was able to like actually control the production because with these YouTube beats, you know, you just like use the YouTube beat how it's already made. When you're working with someone, you're able to actually like arrange the track however you want. You can be like, all right, for these 4 bars, add a little synth here, take out the drums there. Like you can really just like arrange a track however you want. So for the Cage Birds, it's definitely I think like my best project to date and that I've released. And um, I was very happy to put that out. It was the only time I made music videos. I had 2 music videos for that, for Sky High Crash and It's You with Ashley.
Mm.
And I mean, I just love the music on there. So that was a big album for me. And you're right. I don't know if I was really thinking about what was next once I released it. I had like ideas. Like I was pretty sure I was gonna go back into like a hip hop bag, like a soul loops and soul samples similar to like the project with Daily Routine. I just wanted to like get my bars off, get my thoughts off. You know what I mean? So quickly after that album came out, I was just recording songs. I wasn't really feeling a lot of them. I've recorded so many songs since that album, by the way. Like so
It's like
many.
you got like 1,000 songs on a hard drive just waiting
Not
to
a
be.
thousand, but I definitely got like over 30. Like,
That's a good amount.
you know what I mean? Like, and
There's a
the project that's coming out is 15 songs. So there's like songs that are not gonna be released. You know, like there's a cutting board.
I really like Russ. He's the big DIY artist, and he was like,
Yeah.
you know what? If you want to go somewhere with this music, what I did was I pre-recorded like 26 tracks and then just
Hmm.
started dropping a track a week.
Hmm.
And then eventually, like the music is good, and time after again, you try and market it. You have honestly the tools today are better than ever
Yeah.
to self market your music. It's like okay, so
Yeah.
you have 30 tracks, maybe you do some with it.
Yeah, shout out Chris Hovers as well. He was telling me that he was going to do something very similar. He just dropped a track yesterday that's like is really really good. But he was also on that last time I spoke to him. He's like, "Yeah, I got like 50 tracks recorded and my plan is to drop one a week."
To go
Like
somewhere with
that's
it.
the
Hey,
grind. Yeah.
I like it. I like it is a grind. So for the upcoming album,
Yeah.
how long did it take you from start to finish? And what's kind of the theme? I guess what are your feelings towards that album?
I think so. I just finished recording it like 2 days ago. So we
Salute.
made it to
Now
the
it's
finish
time to
line.
get mixed.
Yeah. Like I played it all the way through. I like the sequencing. Now it's just yeah, making sure the mixes sound good and the master is right. Um I started recording it probably in October of last year, so like 8 months, give or take, just recording songs. Like um the idea and the album's title Reflections. I'm gonna drop it. That's the name.
Reflections.
Reflections. Yeah. Um like most of my albums, the title really comes like halfway through the creative process. It's usually like I start making songs and then I'm like, what's a title that ties these songs that I've been making together? And like I had recorded already like 10, 15 songs, and I'm like, damn,
Mm,
these are all just reflections. Like that's just what they
reflections.
are.
That sums it up.
It sums it up. So, um, and then, you know, there's a little more to it, but yeah, the album's great.
Album's
It's
great.
really good. It's probably my favorite so far,
Favorite? Do you think it's your
honestly.
best work so
I think
far?
it's definitely like it's just my best writing and my best rapping, my best delivery. Like as far as a vocalist, like some of these verses are so fucking good.
One
Like
thing I like about your songs is the fact that a lot of the songs are pretty introspective, honestly. A lot of
yeah.
reflections on your life. There's a song off of the Cage Birds.
Hmm.
Um, oh man, what's the song called? It's the one where you're like tired.
Yeah. What do you want from
What do you
me?
want from me?
I've been tired, working so hard this week. It's
Like
called
that one,
Overtime. That's my
it's
favorite.
relatable.
Yeah.
This idea that man, like It's a burnout, honestly. Like the rest of life, once you graduate college, is legitimately like how much work can you do to make whatever legacy you want to make for yourself. And for some people, it's let's do the least amount of work possible and enjoy as much of life as we can. Or some other people that take it, I'm going to work as hard as I can because I want to take wherever I am or whatever I'm working on to the next level. And then
Mhm.
there's obviously like the in between. Like, what do you see yourself with that, especially with like music?
Yeah. Um, with music for me is just a way to understand my own emotions, honestly. Like I use it as a form of, I feel like everyone says that, as a form of therapy.
Therapy.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
really is true. Like a lot of the time I don't even understand how I'm feeling, but I'll write a song and listen to it back and I get a better idea of where I'm at as a person. Like, so it's very helpful for me and very necessary um, as a human to grow and develop. Like, music is vital for me from making it as well as listening, like everything. Like, music for me is extremely important. So I don't think music will ever not be a part of my life from a
Yeah.
listening perspective or from a creating perspective, because like it just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Like
That's
it's
how I feel about it too. I was so close, so very close the beginning of this year to just quit music altogether.
Mhm.
I always loved it. I was like, oh, I love like making music. It is somewhat like a little therapy for me, a little introspection. Also, I always found it fun to put the words together with the beat and just making my own music. I was like, I want to make music that I will enjoy listening to. Like, if
Mhm.
I'm not enjoying like what these other artists are putting out, maybe I can just make my own music. Like that was
Mhm.
always the intention there. But I feel like somewhere between the last 2 years and then the beginning of this past year, I was like, man, like I just lost all like the motivation to make it. It had been so long since I put out a song, and I think the drive to do is at legitimately an all-time low. And one day I remember I was just listening to some tracks. I think to be honest, I don't even remember what song it was, but I was listening to some tracks. I was just like, I just kept replaying it over and over and over and over again. I was like, damn, man, like I kind of now want to make music that I can just repeat like this. So after that, I just started writing again and just finally started recording again last month, like May.
Let's
After
go.
it's been over a year,
Yeah.
legitimately over a year since I like recorded music. So
Yeah.
it's like the same sort of mindset. I really thought I was done, but can't leave it alone.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And I feel like your music too, like, and you as a person, like I think you thrive off of like performing as well, because I've seen you perform. So I feel like for you that is so important, like
Yeah,
performing the music
yeah,
and seeing people connect with it on like a stage. And the past 2 years you haven't had that much. I think also
yeah.
probably without you realizing it, the few performances you've had this year maybe have wanted you to want to record too and make new music.
I hadn't even thought of that, but now that you're saying it, all the performances up to this year, including the one where we performed Up Now, which I want to talk about in just a second.
Yeah.
Uh, all of those were some of like the best performances I think I've ever done in terms of like energy, right? Like
Hmm.
I'd always admired great performers on stage in hip hop.
Hmm.
So one of my favorite artists like ever, like Travis, was always to me like my icon, my idol in terms of how do I want to perform on stage. And I would watch him perform like Austin City Limits, Gov Ball, and things like that on YouTube and be like, yo, how do I match that type of energy? And it's nuts, like how much energy he puts into every track and the type of things he does on stage to keep it going for the whole like 40-50 minute set. So
Yeah.
how can I match that? And I think like this year finally like got the chance to like do it. I'm starting to realize there's better ways to go about it, but I think in terms of like energy,
Hmm.
I feel like I'm finally hitting my stride as well.
There
And
we go.
just hearing how people reacted makes me be
Yeah.
like, yo, okay, maybe like I shouldn't quit this. Maybe there's actually something here. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you feel when you perform live.
No, not really. Um, because I'm not that energetic. uh, um,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like rapping, and it's like listen to me. Like I'm a poor because that's the music I make
It's
too.
like
So
Tiny Desk concert style. Like listen to
it's
the
like
music, the
that's
lyrics.
exactly what it is. It's like, all right, I'm gonna speak my truth over some beautiful hip hop beats. Now, please just listen to me. Thank you. And I just rap and I pour out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I'm done. And I'll be very casual. Like, um, I think I've also improved a lot as a performer too, because I think now I'm just super comfortable with myself, like on stage. Like nothing can go wrong. And I also have faith that I know like I'm not gonna fuck up. Like I know my shit and I'm gonna
Yeah.
deliver it well, you know. So
I mean, you just
I
recite the lyrics off the top of your head, so I know
yeah,
you know your shit.
yeah, exactly. So
What about for any new artists out there, new hip hop artists? Let's say they've been doing it for like a year now, but they're really trying to cement themselves as either a performer or b like as a songwriter, which I think you do really well. Like, what would your tips be to someone that really wants to improve in those two specific areas?
as a performer, to improve, honestly, you have to practice. Like I know for sure my first couple of performances, there were a couple performances where I went back to my place disappointed at my performance. And that is a horrible feeling. And you don't
Yeah,
want to feel that, you know, like it happens and you learn from it and you get better because of it. But my advice to you, you don't want to feel that way. So pull up prepared. Like make sure everything you're performing, you know perfectly by heart, and there
yeah,
is
you know
no
your
way
shit.
you
You
forget
got
it.
to.
Like there is no way, you know, because you've done it 20 times beforehand. Like there's just no way you're gonna fuck up, even if you're nervous, you know, because you're gonna be nervous. That's the thing. Like in my early performances, I knew my stuff and I was pretty sure I knew it all, but when those nerves hit in the moment and you stumble a line, another stumble is coming too, because you just stumbled a line and your mind is thinking, oh fuck, you just stumbled, and
Yeah.
then you're not in the moment anymore. So always be in the moment and know your shit. That's it. Don't
Yeah.
overthink. Like if you fuck up, move on, right? Because most people aren't going to notice your mistake, but if you notice it and harp on that mistake, more mistakes are to come, and it's just a downhill spiraling thing when you
Out of
perform.
control.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, like, man, even in like how many years, like so many years, like almost like 1 decade, like doing this and doing my first performance, 5 years ago. The nerves are still there every
Mhm.
single time. It's just like when you go up on stage, how are you gonna go about it? And I'm not gonna lie, there's some points where the nerves get to me so much where even though they shouldn't,
Mhm.
that I start stumbling over the words. But the moment I get comfortable and in my zone, that's how I know I'm locked in. And it's I feel like just not even think about it. When you don't think about it, that's when
Mhm.
the performance is generally going to be the best because you know that you know it. It's like, but if you
Yeah.
start thinking too much about it, you start going one way, the lyrics go the other way, you start forgetting, stumbling, and that's how things get out of control.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
what about for storytelling, songwriting, that realm?
That's more difficult to give advice on because it's like, okay, so number one, it's obviously practice makes perfect. So if you're not
Yeah,
like putting in the time and effort, like it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You're not going to
yeah,
get better if you're not trying. So obviously, putting effort and trying is like the baseline to becoming a good songwriter and storyteller. Um, but other than that, sometimes it's like not everyone can do it. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like there's a lot of people who try to be songwriters or storytellers or try to rap because they think it's a cool thing to do and it's like something they want to do, but they just don't have it.
yeah.
Like I mean, it's hard to explain that. Like you
It's
just
hard
kind
to
of have
explain.
to be in tune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
storytelling is hard. Songwriting is difficult. There's some qualities and characteristics I think some artists do really well.
Hmm.
Like Kendrick, for example, every album,
Shout out Kendrick.
shots, yeah, best hip
We
hop
listen.
artist of the
We listened
decade.
to that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. My first time listening to that was at midnight at Freddie's place.
Yeah,
Shout
it
out
was a
that.
great experience
It
that I
was
didn't
so
fall
good.
asleep for. So I was like, you
You
know what,
did
this
or
is so good.
didn't?
I don't think I did.
Andrew fell asleep.
Andrew fell asleep. Andrew
Andrew
fell
fell
asleep.
asleep. I was like, damn, man.
But the album was phenomenal. I think what he does well, inflections, the beats, the interludes, like he has like the vision crafted out.
It's incredible.
And I love that when necessary, he brings on guests that add value, but then everything else he can do capably on his own. And he doesn't do things that he can't do. And I feel like on a previous podcast when I said, oh, the Drake Honestly Nevermind album, like I was referring to that song Falling Back, where he tries to take on those serious vocals, like vocals that are not in,
He's
a
hitting,
rap
he's
singer
hitting
just
those falsettos.
the false.
He's
I'm
hitting
just
them.
like, that's not your zone,
I fucking
man.
love it. I think it's his zone, man. I love falling back on
No, no,
me.
no, 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 no,
So
no,
good.
no.
It's so good. I like that song.
Man, I would never. But I think Kendrick just executes so well on things he's good at. So I think,
Yeah.
I guess if I had to give a tip, it would be play on your strengths. Like know where you're good at, and if you want to implement things that you aren't necessarily as good at, make sure you either have someone else's help, make sure you're trying to develop that, or if anything, shout out Logic plugins like AutoTune, to
Yeah.
help you out
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess one of the other big things on my mind right now, which is actually super dope, because by the time that this podcast comes out, our song Up Now will be out. And this is the first song that we've ever done
Yes, sir.
together.
Uh-huh.
Music video out now. Go check that out if you haven't. But I mean, that song, it's like the culmination of congratulations, we're here. We've kind of done something with our lives. And I feel like that's how at least I felt finishing the 4 years of college. Is like, oh man, we're done. Let's go do big things. And so that's why like Up Now like kind of represents
It's a
that.
good
Like, what
time
do you
to
think
drop it.
huh?
It's a fitting time to drop it.
It's a
like,
fitting
right
time to
now.
drop it. I know. And by the time that this comes out, it'll be out. Like, what are your thoughts on that song, like,
Because
and whatnot?
we made that song like it's got to be 2 years by now, or no, it's
1
about to be
year,
2 years ago, like around September, October
September,
of
October, yeah, about around a year. We
so,
did like April 2021.
2020, dude. I
No,
was
no,
li-
no, no, no.
I was
2020
li-
was the everything got fucked moment.
yeah, I was living with Andrew Way at the time when
No,
we
that's
did this.
2021.
That was 2021.
2021. I was in Atlanta
Oh
in
fuck.
2021. I wasn't there
Oh,
before
okay. Then it
that.
was like a year ago. All right.
A
Never
year
mind.
ago. It was like a year and a few months ago.
Yeah. You see, my COVID's fucked up my sense of time, but yeah, no, I love that song, and I'm excited for it to come out. Like, I think we killed it. I think the video's dope. Shout out Mark
Shout
McGovern
out Mark.
for doing his thing.
Shout out Mark. And yeah, I mean that episode too with Mark, just a little spoiler out there for everyone. That episode is dope. You guys will
I'm
hear
gonna
that
hear it
soon.
when it comes out. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. 100%.
Yeah, check it out. It's funny. Some of the stories are hilarious, and he has no
Yeah.
filter.
No, he
But
does it.
the Up Now song, I feel like, yeah, it's just, and my favorite part is when we trade bars. It's always been like a
Yeah.
thing where I was like, yo, I want to go back and forth
Yeah,
with someone, and like we did that,
we did it.
and it was like we
Yeah.
both knew the words. And we
Cheap in my
performed the song
mics.
live a few times too.
We
And that
have.
has been like hella fun
Mm-hmm.
to just go like, oh, up now, up now, up now.
Yeah, no, that song's great. And I'm gonna put pressure on Freddie right now. We have this other song called Autopilot. He has to drop it. He has to. There's no option. You just have
There's
to
no,
drop it.
yeah, we do have this other song called Autopilot. I guess because he wants. I guess I guess it's gonna come out sometime.
There we fucking go.
So be sure to be on the lookout for that.
But right now it's up now. Right now.
But
it's
right
up
now, right now it's up
Right
now.
now it's up now, all the way.
Up now. First song I've put out in straight up a year and a few months. And first track I've had like a feature on, I think like ever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had
There
a
we
feature up until
go.
this moment on
There we
Spotify.
go.
Just on some old music. Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
big moments right here. I guess from everyone out there, what can they expect from you going forward for your new album, and where can they find your stuff?
For me moving forward, I'm gonna be dropping my new album Reflections sometime this year. I have no date. It's whenever it gets done. You know what I mean? So I'm not rushing it. Like when it comes out, but it's fully recorded. I have an IG that's G.R.E underscore music underscore, and that's where I promote all my music in general on Instagram. And on that Instagram, there's a link to all my music, so you can from there you can just branch off and
Just
find
branch
me.
off.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
yeah, that's really the only way you're gonna. It's my IG. That's about it.
It's
That's
the
how you figure
Instagram.
me out. Yeah.
Yeah, the best platform for, I feel like, getting your stuff out there and just keeping folks up to date. I mean, go follow G.R.E on Instagram. Up Now, Out Now, and then Reflections, his album coming soon. And Yeah, I'm excited to hear the album. I really am, because you
Yeah.
wouldn't send me the demo.
I can send you a couple. I got about like 8 of them are mixed, and about 7 of them are not right now. So I can
Mm,
send you a couple. I just
okay.
don't want to send you the not mixed ones because, like,
All right. Slide me a couple. I want to hear it.
okay, got you. I'll send you my favorite. For anybody listening, my favorite right now is track 2, Coolin' in the Tropics. That
Cooling in the tropics.
that's just fire.
If you
Even the
listen to
title.
our champagne freestyle, we talk about
Oh, you dropping that?
oh yeah, of course, of course. Well,
Let's
that's that
go.
yeah, no, at the time that
Oh,
this thing comes out, that will be out too.
let's go.
That's
Okay,
like
bet.
chilling in the bees, some
Yeah.
sipping on the beach margaritas. Like that's the tropic vibe. I don't know. I was going for more like your
No,
type
yeah,
of
yeah,
style.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I love it.
But anyways, we got some dope stuff coming out. Appreciate you, bro, for hopping on the podcast. For anyone
Mhm.
out there, again, go follow him, GRE_music. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, feel free to give us a like. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, and yeah, just feel free to give us a review. Stay tuned next week for another episode and more great things coming out. Hey, one more time, bro. I appreciate you hopping on, and we might need you back again soon.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Freddie.
All right. For everyone else out there, thank you again, and we'll be back soon.
Pe-
Peace.
Peace.